Okay, so let's get started. Let's do a quick recap of last game / where you are in the story.
I remember I was waiting on a sword or something, a weapon from them as a reward.
Mm-hmm.
On Tiamat and what's his name?
Asulan.
Yeah. So Maurice, you were waiting for them to give you a sword or something?
Yeah, because I wanted a reward, and I asked them if they could use something with the light and their elven weaponry, and then try to make a dwarven thing with it.
Okay. So that's okay. So you find yourself in front of Tiamat and Asulan after having successfully defeated the demon that Sylvanas had summoned a while ago, and you're just speaking to the two of them.
Right. So I believe, looking at the ticker track, I would like.
You wanted some kind of weapon or something?
Yeah, so I decided to explore their weapon inventory. So I think currently Tiamat is showing me their weapon inventory of these weird light magic, elven related stuff.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, Tiamat says that we have a variety of weapons, but each of our weapons is specially crafted for its wielder, and all of the weapons that I'm showing you now are specifically crafted for me, Tiamat, or my other dwarven attendant, who named Loa, who is out in the wilderness right now. But if we were to give you a special weapon, it would have to be crafted for you specifically.
Yes, and I believe you said your blacksmith is a day or two away, so I gotta wait.
What I would advise is that the creation of individual weapons for soldiers takes a lot of special ingredients, and a lot of those ingredients can be found within the tunnels that are in the lower levels that are closer to Grodd's lair. And his armies and minions are slowly encroaching on my territory. So I would suggest that you spend this next couple of days going down there for some scouting missions to see what the situation is down there. I can always use a second attendant, and maybe you'll find some special ingredients or some surveillance information that could be useful to us in our war effort.
Okay, that sounds like a good idea. And guess what? Didn't I pick up a lot of plants and mushrooms and stuff, like the red mushrooms, when I was down there in the tunnels? I recall if I did that with some insects and some mushrooms. So I want to show them the red healing mushrooms that I used to save Sylvanas.
Good point.
Aslan says that yes, these are in fact special mushrooms that I crafted myself, I engineered myself. They are not potent by themselves, but can, if you eat them or squeeze out their juices and pour it on your body, on some minor cuts and things, it can heal them. With some other special concentrating agents and dilution agents, they become even more potent and can be concentrated into special healing salves that are more powerful and can heal more bad injuries.
Could you mix it with alcohol?
Unfortunately, liquor and any spirit dilutes and destroys the potential of these mushrooms. They must be consumed raw or in the concentrated form.
Okay. That sounds like a good idea. Why don't I go and explore the tunnels? But before I do that, because I've been fighting the whole day, I want to take a nap, get some alcohol, drink something, and then also, most importantly, I need to restock, because I believe my little knapsack or ring, what was it called? I think it was a magic, wow, what the heck do I have again? I have this magic bag with lots of space from Silas.
Yes.
Yes. So I need to restock up on food and stuff, because I remember I gave some to Sylvana as soon as she was dying.
Asulan says, that sounds good. Unfortunately, I cannot condone excessive drinking. If you must drink, you must find or brew your own materials. I will not support alcoholism under my domain. However, I will give you all the food, water, and other sustenance that you might need, as well as one or two healing potions.
Sure.
She
That
gives
happen. But since I'm getting a weapon, I'll wait.
she gives you a
Really, what's the word? Withdrawal symptoms? You'll have to deal with that.
she says wait, what are you saying? Oh, withdrawal symptoms? She said, it's fine. Quitting a addictive thing cold turkey is the best way to go. Plus your dwarven health will and rejuvenation abilities will guide you through.
I'm a dwarf. Alcohol is in our blood.
This alcohol might be in your blood, but today it will be just normal blood and no alcohol. So she gives you a package of dried like biscuit-like substances, like 20 of them wrapped in like some leaves and kind of tied together, as well as a couple of vials of red fluids and some water in a satchel.
Alright, so I'm gonna go down the tunnel we came out of, the one that was vertical and then I flattened out and it was like blue and there's insects and stuff.
Sure. You make your way down the tunnel carrying your newly acquired foodstuffs, and you essentially are in the first zone of the tunnel where it's all Asulan's like creatures, all the sort of subterranean creatures. This zone extends for maybe like if this the top layer of this tunnel, it extends like sort of like a semicircle around underneath, and then each successive semicircle, which is like each of them are maybe like I don't know, like half a mile in length. And underneath the swamps, and then like going down is each decreasing level, with the lowest levels being dominated by Grodd and his soldiers.
Alright, do this.
So you find yourself in the first of the tunnels. The creatures are relatively friendly. There's a wide array of them, and variety of mushrooms and plant life and glowing plants and animals and things. Nothing particularly dangerous. The tunnel from the main one that you entered sort of spreads out in three directions. They're not really tunnels that they spread, it's kind of just like wide hallways. And then further down there's like multiple branching smaller tunnels that go out into various directions.
Okay, and I remember there was like 3 different types of tunnels, and one of them we haven't been down or something. Like, what were they again?
So basically, there's tunnels that are kind of flat and they go just underneath the swamps. There's other tunnels that are like declines. They're going deeper into the ground. These are the tunnels that, if you follow, will take you deeper down the zones, to the deeper zones. And then there's tunnels that go up, and these presumably are the ones that are exit tunnels out into the swamps again.
Alright, I'm gonna go down the deeper tunnels to go back where, like, what's his name? Grodd?
Yeah. His minions hang out, yeah. You travel down one of the deeper, the tunnels that decline, like going down. As you travel, aside from the normal, various creatures and plants and stuff, one unique thing or interesting thing that you notice is that there is the burn marks of a campfire that was lit here seemingly a day or two ago, with the evidence of food scraps and like a campsite being set up in one of the declining tunnels.
So I want to proceed cautiously then.
So you proceed cautiously away from the campsite, and you don't notice anything particularly interesting for a little while, although after perhaps another 30 minutes of walking, the tunnel again splits into a basically, as you walk, there's various tunnels going in various directions, but there's like kind of a point where the tunnel steeply drops off. It's still walkable, you don't have to scale it or anything, but it's like a steep decline. This seems like the transition zone between the first and second zones.
Huh. So, considering I had such trouble going with the party members to the zones, I don't want to go down to the second zone. I want to stay in the first zone.
Sure. Okay.
You said only one of the tunnels goes down to the second zone?
There's multiple. So the first zone is set up as sort of like a kind of like a big plate that's underneath the swamps, and so there's multiple points where there's like kind of like holes in the bottom of the plate where they go onto the second zone.
So we're gonna pick rocks off the ground and see which way isn't like the way that just goes down, but just straight.
Oh, like a vertical tunnel.
Yeah, I don't want to go down vertical tunnels. I want to go down tunnels that like how we came out of it.
This one isn't vertical. It's just kind of like a. So you've been going on like maybe like this kind of decline, but now it's like, like it's just.
Let's do that.
Okay, so as you travel down this sort of steeper decline of a tunnel, you begin to notice that there is slightly less life than there was before. The plant life is less. Large ashes seem to be taken out of basically there's a lot of dead animals. Not a lot, there's just a few dead animals. Exactly. There's also signs of battle. It doesn't look like the people that were fighting here were fighting the creatures that are dead. Rather, the creatures look like they were killed by whatever the fighting, like whoever was fighting, they were fighting the things that killed the creatures.
Looks like there's a party here. Right, let's keep going cautiously. I don't want to get side-winded.
Sure. As you proceed down the second zone, you notice that before in the first zone there were no lava flows, but now a few lava flows are present in the tunnels. So basically, the way the second zone is organized is that it's a bunch of parallel tunnels that all end in a set of it's not like multiple tunnels that are like kind of twisting around, but rather it's just a bunch of parallel tunnels that all on either end of them drop out to the third zone.
Fine. You know what? When in doubt, choose right. Let's go down the right tunnel.
You go down one of the tunnels. This one is full of various red life, like plant life, and there's also some predatory creatures which are skirting around in the darkness.
So I want to look at some of these red plant life and collect.
You stoop down to examine one of the plants. But as you do, you hear the sounds of fighting. It sounds like a person or something is fighting, not another person, but maybe a creature, because there's growls and screeches and things like that.
So I hear two creatures fighting, or do I hear like a sword slash?
Like a person, like some kind of person with a weapon fighting a creature.
Okay, so I screamed out saying, "Bro, do you need some help?"
So your voice or your call is initially ignored, but the fighting you noticeably intensifies, and a moment later, a kind of a sliding, squelching sound, the sound of a sword penetrating the hide of a creature, emanates through the lair, and all sounds of fighting stop. You hear the sound of light footsteps approaching you.
Alright, tell him GG. Good kill. You need some help with that. And also, I want to get my sword ready just in case.
As you say these words, you notice that around you, all of a sudden, 3 hooded figures arise behind you, wielding bows and pointing the arrows at you, as a man appears in front of you, not hooded, and clad in heavy armor, with a sword that is bloodied with purple blood, and he points this bloodied purple sword at you and says, "What is thy purpose?"
My purpose was just to explore, and I just happened to see someone possibly go down this route, and then I heard fighting, so I was wondering if everything was okay.
Are you not a vanguard soldier of the dwarves of the mines?
I am! I used to be! I'm surprised you know that. No one here has actually recognized that.
We are kin then, but you have not been in the vanguard. It shows on your physique.
I was in the vanguard, and and then I was kicked out, but not kicked out because I killed someone or something. It was personal matters, politics. So, and I kind of let myself go a lot, fully.
Do you wish to take up arms once more?
I do. That's actually why I'm here. I'm trying to get some ingredients and stuff to, get my shit together. I'm getting some support.
In the third zone, on the fourth tower, there is a blockade that prevents us from rescuing our brethren. He, at this point, takes another sword from his back. One is clean and not bloodied. He throws it into the ground in front of you, and then he turns around. The hooded figures disappear into the grass, and you are left alone.
Awesome, but also very scary because I don't remember dwarven people knowing shadow magic.
They're not they just seem relatively, stealthy people. Like they're good at stealth.
Yeah, I don't remember the dwarven stealth
They're not
unit that stealthy.
What?
I don't remember the dwarven stealth unit we had back at home being that stealthy.
They're not dwarves. They're just they look like humans. They're not dwarves.
Oh, so when he said brother, and he didn't mean I'm a dwarf. He meant like
Your brothers in like
arms.
in purpose.
Okay, got it. All right, sweet. I want to examine the sword before picking it up because it might be cursed.
You examine the sword. It looks like a hardened steel sword. Nothing particularly special about it, although it has the sheen of like when you touch it, it has like a shrill sort of noise. Not painful or upsetting, but it just feels righteous, like a righteous sword.
Well then, fuck it.
But the make of it and the quality of it is that of it seems like it's like a standard steel sword.
Once I'm picking it up, I'm gonna see how heavy this shit is.
You pick up the sword. It is a pretty standard weight for a broadsword, like a steel broadsword. The quality, upon closer examination, seems better than normal, and it's sharper than a normal broadsword maybe. But it has, you notice, been honed and sharpened very recently, and is in, well-kept condition. It's a sword that's been used frequently and often, and is kept in good order by its user.
Sweet, sword good.
But no magical properties that you can detect.
I would melt it when you make your new sword.
Use it as a base. That's a smart idea.
Yeah.
Thank you for that suggestion. I will try that out later. But since I have a quest now to gain strength back, I must practice and train, and also go and scout out the third level. So that's what I want to do. I'm gonna go and scout out the third level before going back and training.
As you make your way through this sort of parallel tunnel in the second zone, you feel the presence of hundreds and hundreds of predatory creatures that hunt or haunt this area. None of them are particularly aggressive unless threatened.
How many?
I would say maybe like 10 or 15 per square kilometer. You can, track them down, or you can bait them, or you can just wait for them to attack you.
I was thinking of baiting them, but if I bait one, will 10 rush me?
It's highly likely. You're unsure whether these creatures hunt in packs or individually, like cats, or if they're like pack hunters, like wolves or something.
Alright, so I want to pick up a rock, hide behind something I can see, and chuck it another rock. Sorry, hide behind a boulder or something in the way, and chuck a rock at one of them.
You notice that every 100 or so meters there's like a sort of a large stalked mushroom. It's sort of difficult to climb because there's no it's not like a tree. It like kind of spreads out, but you can. There's one that has like sort of a rock right underneath it that would allow you to get on top of the mushroom. So you climb this mushroom and chuck a rock. From your vantage point, you notice. From your vantage point, you notice that you don't notice individual creatures, although you notice sort of like movement in the foliage as creatures are moving around.
So did the creature get startled?
You didn't hit a specific creature, you just kind of threw a rock before you noticed any of the movement. So now you can maybe more targetedly throw that rock.
Alright, so I want to pick up another rock, but throw it in a way that it'll notice it and then come toward the mushroom.
You throw a rock in front of one of the moving bits of foliage. Suddenly the movement stops, and like the movement stops for a moment, and then reorients, and the foliage movement speeds up and is going towards the mushroom. All of a sudden, not a giant, maybe like a standard-sized tiger that's about maybe like 4 or 5 times heavier than you, and maybe 3 times larger, leaps out from the foliage towards the mushroom, claws and jaws out, aiming for your neck.
I want to bend down, grab some sand, throw it in its...
You try to reach for sand, but you notice that you are on top of a mushroom and there is no sand.
I thought I was behind the mushroom.
I thought you wanted to climb on top and throw a rock.
Okay, sure, fine. So then, you know what? If that's the case, then I want to take my shield out, because don't I have a freaking shield this whole time?
Yeah, you have a shield.
So I have shield, and then the magic, or the better sword in my other hand.
So what do? You just take it out and like...
I put the shield out to block, and then the other one to like stab, like this, into the neck.
You take out the shield, the tiger leaps at you, and swipes at the shield, knocking it out, not out of your hand entirely, but just knocking it out, and it, now that you're defenseless, it goes towards your chest.
But I still have my sword going, right?
You do have your sword going. You hit the sword on the tiger's paw. It bleeds, you make a slight cut, and the tiger backs away, unsure of itself and slightly in pain, favoring the cut leg. It's like the front left leg favoring. But it's still so the two of you are now on top of the mushroom, circling each other. The tiger is kind of favoring its injured leg.
Right, time to level up and get souls, like Dark Souls.
You're gonna get souls? What does that mean?
I'm just joking, saying I'm farming. Okay, so I want to slowly approach the tiger.
You slowly approach the tiger. The tiger holds its ground and growls and roars loudly at your face, but doesn't make.
I roar back at him, saying I'm a fucking better person than you.
You roar back at the tiger. Your roar is noticeably quieter, but just as enraged and filled with hate.
Yeah. So I have a theory that I have 2 swords, right? I have my normal one, and then I have the better one.
Yeah. Yes.
So what I want to do is chuck one of the swords at the tiger, and then while it thinks I don't have any weapons, pull my other one out and stab it.
You chuck your original sword.
I want to keep aiming. So first, I want to keep aiming at its legs.
Okay.
Just like I did before.
You aim at the tiger's leg with your original sword, pulling it off of the back holster and throwing it. The tiger, its great agility showing, rapidly shifts away as the sword slashes the mushroom and falls to the ground, making a small clang. This tiger looks back at the sword, looks at you, and almost grins as it pounces.
Then tell it, fuck you, man. I got another one.
As the
Same
so
leg.
oh, so you like go for the other leg now?
Yeah, because I want it to be able to not be fast. It's fast.
So the tiger is still fast given its like injured status. I think that probably the adrenaline is making it power through the pain.
Okay.
So what are you doing? I didn't get the plan.
Well, the thing is, my whole plan was to like chuck one sword so it thinks, oh, I don't have any weapons. But then since I have another one, I'll pull that one out and try to hit it.
Hit it where?
Like on its other leg, the right leg, not the left leg, but the right front leg.
Okay. Using your smaller dwarven stature, you crouch down as a spider, the tiger pounces, and pull out your other sword from behind your back and slice at its leg, cutting one of the tendons as it falls behind you, and now unable to grasp because of its cut tendons, falls to the ground beneath you from the mushroom and howls in pain.
Where's the other sword?
It's like maybe 20 yards out that way in front. So like you're here, the sword is like there, and the tiger is like now behind the mushroom down.
Shrikant, get the fur. Make sure you get the fur.
Okay, got it. But the thing is, like, so I'm gonna go pick up my other sword.
You pick up your other sword, you jump down from the mushroom and go to where the sword is, and you just pick it up.
Alright, now I want to jump back on top of the mushroom since the other tigers are probably waiting.
You don't notice any other tigers, although you sense the presence of a variety of vulture and other sort of scavenger type creatures like wolves and dogs and stuff. They won't attack you directly because they've seen you take down this creature, although once you're done with whatever you're going to do to him, they will eat the group. They're scavengers.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. I'm fine with that. I just need the fur.
You jump on top of the mushroom and look down. The tiger is trying to crawl away, unsuccessful. I mean, slowly with its hind legs, and trying to crawl away towards a sort of a lake that's further away, so that it can get water.
Alright, so I don't buy its fake, bullshit. Oh, I'm weak now. So I'm gonna chuck the other sword I just picked up at him, while also running at him with the other sword and my shield though.
The tiger, you are right to assume that its weakness was feint because as soon as you chuck the sword, the tiger again displays its amazing agility as its head swivels around and catches the sword in its teeth and it throws it away.
Well, I'm still running at it.
So you run at the tiger?
Yeah, I want to run at it and, not tackle it with my shield, like in the face, so it gets stunned. Because its two front legs are injured, like him hitting me is gonna be hard.
So you run towards the tiger. It angles itself in such a way that its back legs are facing you, so that when you approach, it kicks back at you with its back legs, in a way that a horse would, like kind of like a backwards kick,
Fuck! I don't want to become a Christopher Reeves.
So you get kicked in the chest. You don't suffer any permanent damage, although the wind is knocked out of you. And the tiger, you notice, somehow fighting through the pain, gets on four of its legs and is approaching you slowly, claws out and teeth out. And the wind is knocked out, and you are on the ground. So again, you are on the floor, on the dirt floor. Wind knocked out, tigers approaching you relatively slowly. It'll get here in maybe 10-15 seconds.
How gorgeous I am.
You still have your sword, but your shield has been knocked out of your hand. It's maybe 20 yards away. You got your other sword, so you have two swords.
What the hell do I do? Let's see here.
I will gorge his eye out.
Yeah, but while I'm going for the eyes, it'll take a chunk out of my skin.
Or use one of the sword and block its jaw like that, and and then just gore the eye.
Okay,
out like
I'll do that. That's a good idea. But then, what about his arms?
Huh? Well, you just...
Okay, how about this? I want to feint. I want to pretend like I'm going at the shield, but then fucking rush him.
Well,
So
if he attacks you with the jaw, block it with the sword.
Yeah, I'll do that. But the thing is, right now he'll think, oh, I'm going for the shield, right? And then I'll just turn around and rush him when he's running.
And then while he's holding onto the jaw, because it's so sharp, yeah, the sword you just picked up is pretty sharp, right? You can just slice through his mouth.
Oh, he'll try to bite it. Okay, I like that.
You can slice through his mouth.
I'm stealing Khan's idea.
Yeah.
okay. So what do you do exactly?
So I want to pretend like I'm running at the shield, so he'll be like, ha, right? And
Yeah.
while he was coming at me at full speed, I'll turn around and fucking do what Khan said.
Which is
So when he
the
attacks,
sharper sword at his face, and then the other one in his chest.
yeah. So when he attacks you with the jaw like that, he's gonna use his sharper sword and just kind of block it like that. So he's gonna hold on to it. And then with the other sword, he can stab his chest or stab his eyes.
Yeah.
And as his claws start to attack, he can slice the whole mouth through it, like because it's such a sharp sword.
And then hit his sword.
So like I see what you're saying. So you're running, the tiger's chasing you, and then as soon as it like gets behind you, you like kind of swivel around and slice his face, and then with the other one, you like kind of stab him in the
Yeah, the
chest.
sword's gonna be trapped like that.
Yeah.
In the meanwhile, he's gonna stab with the other sword.
Yeah.
And then when
And then it'll
his
slice
claws,
and it'll hit his arm.
as his claws come in, he's gonna quickly slice that through him.
Okay. All right. I sort of get what you're saying. Okay.
We'll see how that
So
works.
get up and begin to stumble, run towards the sword, giving the feint that you are desperate protection. The tiger, encouraged by your desperation, lets out a mighty roar and sprints towards you, boosted by his adrenaline, and closing the distance relatively fast. It's now like kind of like right behind your back. And it's like coming at it, like leaped off the ground and is like coming at you, going towards your neck, like claws out. So the claws are like situated so that they're as soon as it bites down on your neck, it'll like put the claws on your shoulders and press down on you, pinning you down and biting your neck. That's kind of the idea that's what's happening.
Well, this isn't good.
So now what do? You like swivel around or something? Just go through what you would do.
Yeah, man. Just do it. Find a way. Get creative.
And so I want to swivel around, sharper sword in the right hand, slice at his mouth, the other one coming up to stab in the fucking chest. Let's do this.
So like
You
this.
carry out your move, spinning around, using a reserve of strength, and using training that you had learned in your glory days in the Vanguard. You were surprised by your strength and agility that's returned so quickly, but you swivel around, slice the tiger's neck or mouth, and stab at his chest. Your blow is true to form. It slices open the tiger's mouth in such a way that its lower jaw hangs down, like kind of like from its neck, and you stab it in the chest, collapsing his lung, and now he's on the ground, not breathing, close to death.
Alright. I want to run up with my sharp sword and stab it in the face.
You stab the tiger in the face, hitting his brain and killing him instantly.
Yay! Now I wanna use my hunting skills that I've gained here in this island or something. I don't know. And the sword, the sharp sword no, not the sharp sword, the not so sharp sword to peel out the fur.
As you begin to cut at the spider or the tiger, the tiger's skin and blood and fur begin to roil around and boil, seemingly melting off of the bones as his flesh and bones turns to fluid and kind of fills the area around with this kind of puddly, gooey mush, which rapidly soaks into the soil, and within a few moments, a patch of red grass and small mushrooms appear with little flowers.
That's fucking weird. Good. Can I grab some red mushrooms and flowers, and then afterward, I'm gonna go get my shield and get the fuck out of here.
You gather some small red mushroom and some flowers. The flowers indicate, or you know from your experience, that the flowers seem to have no beneficial effect, but the mushrooms are the original red mushrooms, although these are smaller and less potent and may only, heal maybe like a sore throat or something.
Alright, I wanna get the fuck out of here.
So which way do you go?
Actually, now that I think about it, I could probably kill more.
You can survey the area to see what creatures are there. You can survey the other tunnels. There's about 25 tunnels that are parallel to each other with a variety of interconnecting tunnels and the interconnecting tunnels have other creatures in them. Some of the interconnecting tunnels have big caverns in the middle. Possibly this is one of those caverns was where you had originally found Savannah.
Dang, you came far.
Basically, the way the second level is that the tunnels, they're not all the same, but they're all like going in the same direction. Some of them are higher, some of them are lower. And then there's a bunch of tunnels that interconnect some of them are like horizontal, others are not. Some of them have like big caverns in the middle of those tunnels. So you can explore this area and figure out what types of creatures live here and what things to kill. Whatever.
You know what? Let's keep exploring. Fuck it. I'm only knocked. My wind was knocked out. I'm not gonna go near the grass where the tigers are. Fuck them.
Okay. As you leave the grassy area, you know maybe like a square kilometer or something in with a kind of a pool in the middle. The pool is just regular water. And then as you leave the grassy area, it turns into sort of a desert-like landscape with cacti and things. The land is flat, so you can still see the grassy area further behind, and the light is coming from above through some sort of glowing orange-y red crystals.
I'm gonna try to cut some crystals down.
The crystals are very high up in the ceiling, maybe like 100 meters. You cannot jump that distance, although maybe you can stack up some rocks or something, but that would take hours to days. So you just sort of walk around the desert area. There's cacti and various like desert creatures, snakes and scorpions. The scorpion sizes are larger than normal scorpions, although most are not threatening. You do notice that all the scorpion tracks seem to be originating from a distance, maybe like a mile in the northern direction.
Alright, so then I want to cut some cactuses down and see if they're edible.
You cut the cactuses down, it smells fine.
Okay, save some of that.
Do you eat them now, or do you just keep them, or?
Yeah, I'm probably tired from killing that tiger, so yeah, I'll eat some.
You eat some cactus, and immediately your mind goes blank as a wave of hallucinogenic energy explodes through your mind as the world turns into colors and noise and sound, and everything is rainbows and music and you're just
tripping. That might happen.
You're just tripping balls right now in the desert under the ground.
Oh, what? There's a desert?
Under the ground?
Yeah, you're in the tunnels, right?
Oh, okay, that's what you meant. Okay.
You went far.
He's in the second zone right now. Yes. Okay, with that, that's your turn. Is Con's turn.
my recap wasn't too productive. I just pretty much wandered around swamp, and then on the outer part of the grassland. My goal is trying to meet Mito and other Jushin people. I think Druv is with them. But last time I was just trying to get back to the camp, but then there were these volcano gases sort of getting in the way, so we just backstabbed. So not productive, but just standing by. Eventually, my goal was to meet Namek Druv, but he's not here today. Okay, well, what was I gonna do?
So you find yourself sort of on the outskirts of the swamps, trying to travel elsewhere. You have with you just
the whole
Christian,
crew.
I think?
No, I have the whole crew with me.
Oh, I thought you sent Rose and John along?
No, we were on an elk.
Okay, yeah, but I thought you sent the two of them to the quarry, and you and Christian were going to catch up to them or something like that.
No, I didn't send anybody. We're all together.
So you got the whole crew, you got all three of them, and the four of you are hanging out on sort of the outskirts of the swamps, trying to decide on your next moves.
Okay, well, here's a plan. Christian, why don't you stand by here and check out these gases and maybe see what you can find out from your observation. And in the meanwhile, we'll stay in this area.
Christian says, that sounds like a plan to me. It will take me maybe an hour or so to sample all of the gases coming out and give you an assessment. However, the towed fluid sacks or enzyme sacks that I collected from the swamps are only good for about a day. And if I don't get them to the camp and preserve them, unfortunately they will be unusable for the snake armor.
You know what? Why don't we try to walk around and sort of get into the Snaky Grassland and get back to the camp? Do you think are the gases up there?
So the gases are they're sort of surrounding the volcano in like a spherical pattern. The further away you get from the volcano outwards, the less there are. They all seem to be kind of coming out of the tunnels or the like the holes in the ground, like sort of like vents. But they are sort of contained in a shell around the volcano, and the further away you get, the less quantity of gases there are.
Okay, so you know what? Let's go around the gas area. Let's forget the gas for now, and let's try to get back to the camp.
The three of your companions agree with your assessment, especially John and Sylvana, who look relieved to. Wait, where's Rose in this?
Rose is here.
Okay, then where's John? So it's
They're all, yeah.
Okay.
So Rose, John, Sylvana, Christian.
Okay, so the three of them, Rose, John, and Sylvana, seem happy with this decision and look forward to relaxing for a little while after reuniting their family.
You do realize you guys can speak up, right?
They say that John says, "I am aware of that, but sometimes I feel like thinking to myself. I'm a silent and thoughtful.
Yes, I've noticed.
Soldier man.
Even when you take a piss, no one notices.
I'm a silent peer. I don't like to announce my urination habits.
I'm just joking. Okay, I believe we can converse, and as we sort of go around the gas near the volcano, and we're gonna slightly get into Snaky Grassland, but I don't see a problem getting back to the camp.
So you hug the sort of outskirts of the volcano, avoiding the gases, and sort of border on the Snaky Grasslands. You don't see any snakes this far north, although you do see some snake trails as well as some snake burrows. Within one of these, not within, but like sort of around one of these snake burrows, you hear the sounds of a man singing.
Do I see the man?
You don't see him, you just hear a male voice singing.
Okay, how far is the singing?
The singing sounds like maybe it's like 20 or 30 yards away, just over a shallow sort of, or not shallow, it's like a sort of like a rise on the ground, like a sort of hill, a small hill. The voice sounds very gravelly, like it's rocks grinding against each other. It's very out of tune and not very good singing, but it's singing nonetheless.
Who is singing? Do we want to find out?
Christian says, I am not super interested in the singing. I mostly want to get back to the camp and deal with this chemistry stuff to make this armor. And the other three, Sylvana speaks up and says, I'm also not very interested, and neither are the three. So basically nobody's super interested in dealing or figuring out what the singing is.
Okay, we'll keep an eye, but we'll walk past it.
As you guys walk past, in your mind, a sort of drumbeat of like destiny arises, like indicating that something in your mind is telling you to follow this singing, even if nobody in your group wants to explore it.
No, screw it. I'm not interested. I kind of agree with them. Just feels more like a trap. If they want anything, they can come on out themselves. Okay. Well, Sylvana, do you know of this man named Tarol as John and Rose has been working under?
Sylvana says, yes, I do. Tarol is the person that I came to this island to investigate because the new king of Uppsala is directly connected to him and is supported by him.
Directly connected? What do you mean by directly connected?
My investigations show that they are first cousins.
First cousins?
Yes.
That's good to know. Tarol's are royal blood. Well, we're heading to his camp, and no one knows of your presence at the moment.
Sylvana says, I will most likely not be recognized by most people in the camp, although if I am taken to the mage's quadrant, many people, especially the scribes and accountants there, might recognize me because I spent several months there investigating.
I asked Tarol about your name when John and Rose was looking for you. He didn't seem to know you personally. Is that true?
I gave a fake name to Tarol and his men. They know me as Annabelle of Uppsala.
Annabelle of Uppsala?
Yeah.
Oh, like as where you're from. Okay.
If you don't mind, I would rather sleep and stay in the woodlands surrounding the camp rather than within the camp itself. I feel threatened within the camp.
Okay.
As you have this conversation with Sylvana, all of a sudden the singing becomes louder and louder, and the gravelly sounding voice, like a body, becomes associated with that voice as a stumbling, human-shaped person kind of stumbles onto the road that you were walking onto.
Is it a giant?
As you take a closer look, it becomes clear that it is a granite soldier. It is odd because a granite soldier doesn't seem to be controlled by anyone and seems kind of drunk.
Soldier, can you speak?
The granite soldier suddenly notices your presence, turns around, and sings a song even louder in your direction as it begins to approach in a jaunty fashion, sort of doing a jig like this.
Is it it's just one granite soldier, right?
It's just a single one, yeah.
I shine light of Orin at that soldier.
The soldier ignores the light of Orin. It has no effect on him. As he appears closer, you can make out the words of his song. He sings, "I used to be a man, I became a demon, but now I am a man once again."
Huh. Interesting. What is going on?
You noticed that when you shone the light of Orin, the singing went from completely unintelligible, gravelly sounding noise to actual words.
So what do we do? Sing it back to him? We just sit and stare at him and just go like, what's going on?
You sit and so you guys sit down.
No, I'm on my elf, so we just kind of stand and look at him.
The granite soldier jauntily and without a care in the world approaches your little group and just dances around singing his song. It's just those 3 lines repeated over and over again, but now intelligible somehow. The elks seem to not be afraid or in any way disturbed by his presence. He gives one of them a scratch behind the ears as he continues to kind of investigate and walk around your group.
I take out one of my granite soldier token. Does anything happen?
Your granite soldier token are bonded to the granite soldiers that you
command. Mine, okay.
And not effective for this one.
Guys, what do you want me to do?
Sylvana says, well, it looked like when you hit him with that light, he became slightly more intelligible. So if you want to investigate and ask him questions, I would recommend hitting him with some more of that light of Orin.
Alright, last chance. Soldier, what has happened to you? Does he...
The soldier looks at you and now, rather than singing in a very sort of somber voice, says, I used to be a man, I became a demon, and now I once again am a man.
He used to be my man?
He used to be a man.
Okay, I take out Light of Orin again, and then in the name of Light of Orin, reveal truly yourself and be able to provide details, and I shoot him a light.
You shoot him with the light of Orin. He falls backwards onto his ass, more out of like kind of surprise at the light rather than like damage. And then he gets up, shakes off his head, looks at you, and says, "Where am I?"
Who are you?
I don't remember my name.
Do you know who I am?
You are a man.
What?
And she is a woman. And she's a woman. And he's a boy.
Does he look human, or does he still look like Granite Soldier?
He looks completely like a granite soldier.
Well, you are a Granite Soldier, but Granite Soldiers are usually controlled by their owner, but you seem to be independent.
The soldier looks down at his, like, kind of stoops down and looks at his hands, kind of turns them around, and then reaches behind his back and feels for something, but feels nothing there. So generally the token to control a granite soldier is located behind their neck, and he feels for this token, but it's not there.
What do you remember, soldier? You know how to speak.
The soldier shakes his head as if shaking away a bad dream, and says, I remember a cage.
Remember a
And then I
cage.
remember pain. And then I remember madness.
Describe madness.
Like a roiling sea of a million voices that weren't my own, but feeling like I was part of it. Feeling like I had to obey another voice that was in the mess too. A singing voice, a voice of music. A light. And then I remember talking to you.
Where are your people from? Niven, Uppsala, Jushin?
My people were people of the cages. We were all in cages. And then we were all screaming together in that ocean of turmoil.
I'll tell you what, you are a slave that got put into a granite soldier body. That's who you are.
The soldier, whoever he is, looks down again at his hands and looks up, seeming to agree with you.
I'll tell you what, why don't you come with me, but you have to act like you're one of my soldier, and you won't be slaves again.
The soldier says, I remember a face. It was a woman. An old woman. Her name was Anna.
Anna? What did Anna do to you?
She quieted the other voices.
She quieted the other...
He quieted the other voices. She made me sane again. She kept the madness at bay. But as soon as he utters her name and madness, a sort of an orangish haze returns to his eyes, and he begins his voice changes from like understandable to back to like kind of gravelly, and he starts singing again.
Does he doesn't have a token, does he?
Huh?
Does he have a token?
He doesn't have a token, no. John suggests maybe hit him with that light again.
Yep, that's what I'm gonna do. Light a roaring to his face. See if the orange color changes.
You blast him again with the light of Orin.
I only shine on his face for now.
Oh, you shine it lightly on his face. For a moment, his mind clears again and the orange disappears. And this time he looks directly into your eyes and says, "You must save us! You must find Anna and convince her to save all of us!" And then the orange light returns. He jumps up, begins to dance, but this time more frantically and seemingly in pain. And within a minute, the orange glow from his body begins to fade very, very rapidly, and whatever was inside of him, whatever orange substance, begins to turn gray and fall out of the various pores in his body as the granite husk that contained that orange substance that gave him life drains and pours out of his granite husk of a body.
So does he have a human body now?
No, basically the granite exterior exoskeleton contains like this orange glowing sand. The glowing sand stopped glowing and just poured out of his body through the various cracks, and he's dead now.
He died.
He's dead now, yes.
You monsters.
Crazy. Okay, well, Christian, are you interested in this body?
Christian, you look over at Christian. He is pale and white and says,
No.
no, he's pale and white and says, he looks horrified and he says, I helped make these soldiers. I'm part of the team that makes these soldiers.
Well, what did you do? You can tell me now, can you?
He says, my job in Tarol's... He says this with a kind of like absolutely no emotion. He just looks white and gaunt and like terrified. But he says this to you in like with almost no emotion. And he says, in Tarol's army, my job was to give potions and salves to the slaves to prepare them for their bath in the lava, so that they wouldn't go insane.
They wouldn't go insane
from the pain, like basically like the snake venom that Tarol had you harvest. That was Christian's job. That's similar, not the snake venom obviously, but like to prevent them from going insane from the pain. It just seems like Christian is coming to an understanding of the horrors of what Tarol is doing.
Well, that's your uncle. You didn't know?
Christian doesn't say anything. He just looks at you and then looks back at the husk of the granite soldier. John speaks up and says, I think Anna that he spoke of is the Anna in the Enchantress's shop.
That's what I think. I see some enchantment in all these tokens. They're probably a little bit of her expertise there.
Sylvana turns to her siblings and says, now do you see the evil that Uppsala supports? Now do you see why we must take down this evil empire? Rose and John look ashamed of themselves, but also seem to have developed a resolve, and they both say yes.
Alright, so the granite soldier is down, and I just look at Christian. How did you not know this about your own uncle?
My uncle always told me that although we were using slaves, they would retain their minds. I was told that it was a person in there and not disembodied, random mishmash of souls. And for some reason, this concept that the creation of these soldiers involves breaking apart a person's soul seems to be very disturbing to Christian, who is a druid and values souls.
Well, I know it's your uncle, but we're gonna stay patient, and we're gonna use this we're gonna use this back to him. Are you on board?
Christian looks at the granite husk and then back at you and says, yes.
Will do.
Sylvana says, yes, I would. I didn't want to live within the camp where people might recognize me. Rather, I would stay silent and keep watch on the camp's activities from a distance in the woods.
In the woods, that's the ghostly forest, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, why don't three of you take this granite soldier body and make underground or make a little hidden camp in the ghostly forest, so we can take our time and gather our forces for both Tarol and Grod. And whenever it's ready, Rose, you come to the camp and tell me where it is.
Tell you where the camp is?
Yeah, the hidden base.
Rose says, "Yes, we will do this. Tarol is a force that must be eliminated, and I fear that Tarol and Grod are two sides of the same coin, and by extension, Uppsala is part of their dominion as well, part of Grod's dominion as well."
Okay, well, I believe in your talent to make this hidden and not noticed.
Yeah.
Whether it's underground or above the ground, that's totally up to you. But why don't you guys take this granite body, and if we can make a weapon out of it, or if we can forge it to something else, do what you gotta do. It's a dead soul, and I'm glad the soul has been released.
Rose says, "I agree. Would you like to take a fragment of this for your own investigations?"
Absolutely.
Rose hands you the hand compartment of the granite soldier. You notice that it's extremely intricate with a variety of cogs and what are those things called? Like in the watch, the with the teeth, the gears, a bunch of cogs and gears that hold the hand together, almost like a glove.
Okay. If you have the capability, forge into armor, forge into weapon as you like, but I think it's gonna be it's a good material to use. But the body is gone, the soul has been released, so it's we can use it as we want, but for ourselves. Take the elks with you. Christian and I will walk back to the camp. We're almost close.
The three of them head off with the elks, and now it is just you and Christian.
Okay, Christian, let's head back to the camp, and if asked, you are to continue on your role. Is that clear?
So what's his? He asks, what is that role?
Well, whatever Tarol asks him to do, you're to continue. And speak none of this incident.
Christian says, "I can keep up the charade, but I will need to know what the plan is to eliminate Tarol and his evilness and his vileness that he is incurring upon this world."
Well, only snake files he has is the one that I brought to him, which I haven't been bringing.
Christian says, "Speaking of which, it has been 4 days since you left the camp, and since Tarol gave you the soldiers, he will expect within the next 3 days a large shipment of snake vials. That is what he told you. He told you that every week you have to deliver, otherwise there would be consequences. So if you have to do something within the next 3 days, I would suggest you either do it within the next 3 days, or come up with the snake vials within that time in order to avoid suspicion."
Will do. That's what I'll be headed to do. Stay on your roll. Speak none of these incidents, and act usual. That's how we're gonna do this.
Christian says,
Sorry about your uncle.
Christian says, "I guess as part of growing up, you learn the evilness within your own family." The two of you walk towards the camp in silence, in your own thoughts, as the sun sets on this day.
Okay, well, I'm gonna look for Dungan, Tyler, and Eric.
Yeah.
Shrikant, why don't you complete this quest? Shrikant, are you there? Shrikant?
Yeah, I'm there.
Why don't you try to, when you get the weapon you want, why don't you try to head towards Tarol's camp?
I think that's a good idea.
Cool. You meet with me again.
Okay.
Alright. So I'm looking for Dungan, Tyler, and Eric.
You find Eric and Tyler in your camp within the larger Tarol's camp. Duncan is not anywhere in that area.
I asked him, where is Duncan?
Tyler asks, better question, where are you? Where have you been for the last 4 days? We've been bored out of our minds.
I was taking a vacation, like I offered you. But,
Tyler says, but you have a mission to do from Tarol. You are aware of this, right?
Tarol knows I'm taking a vacation, but we're about to take our troops and march tomorrow.
Eric says, that is good. I probably don't need to remind you, but your deadline for delivering the snake venoms to Tarol is in 3 days. So you better get on it.
I got it, don't you worry. How was your vacation?
Eric says, I was not on vacation. This is my job. I've been doing other things that Tarol has assigned. Keep in mind, Tarol is aware of your absence and is not happy that you have not collected any venoms in the last 4 days. He is a man of his word and won't say anything unless you can't deliver to him by the promised date. But again, we only have 3 days, so get on it.
We'll do. We're gonna be okay. Where is Duncan? That was my original question.
Duncan is out of the camp right now. You've missed some major events over the last few days, sir. Duncan has been reassigned to a vastly more important mission and is no longer with your team.
Okay, thank you for the update. Tyler?
Tyler says, yes.
What are you up to?
Tyler, who is a big fan of fire and axes, has just been sharpening his axe as he stares at the fire, and he just says, I've just been looking at this fire and sharpening this axe.
Last few days? Okay.
I've also been throwing axes, and he points towards a tree nearby which has a bunch of axe marks where he's practiced throwing axes.
Okay, well, we were taking a vacation, and I was taking some detours around the swamp and the grassland, and we kind of, believe it or not, we got caught up with a demon.
Tyler says, did you, during your vacation, eat any cock? Because, Tyler's gay.
No, did you?
Tyler says, I wasn't on vacation, I was training, just like Eric said. So, no, I didn't.
Oh, sucks for you. Well, maybe you can try one of the granite cocks.
Tyler says, unfortunately, they don't have any cocks. They're barren.
Why don't you get yourself a slave and suck their cock?
Tyler says, that's not a bad idea, actually, but Tarol uses all of the slaves for his purposes, and it's hard to get one for enough time to get anything out of them.
Well, that could be your request to Tarol. Just one slave, It's all good.
Tyler says, I will think about it. Now, you were mentioning this mission for the snake venom. Where are we with that?
We're gonna gather our granite soldiers, golems, and, well, we're missing Duncan, so you and me will march down to the grassland tomorrow.
The two of them say, okay. Tyler does say, you, while on your vacation, have not practiced with these granite soldiers. And my assessment, it takes a couple of days to get used to the controls. So I would suggest overnight you do a little bit of practice if you want to be effective using them at all.
I've been practicing. It just wasn't here. It was a much farther distance. It was at the swamp.
Eric just says, all right, it's your head.
True. I've been reading your poems, Eric.
Eric suddenly perks up and says, you have?
I have.
What did you think?
It's quite romantic. It was a perfect read at the swamp.
Eric blushes and says, I'm a romantic soul locked in a mercenary's body.
Where is your love, Eric?
I have lost the only love that I ever had in my life many years ago, and I fear I shall never love again.
What happened to her, if you mind?
She died.
How did she die?
War.
War? Back in Uppsala?
It was a raid by the Niven into our territories, and our village borders the Niven homeland, and during their raid they ruthlessly killed my entire family and my entire village, as well as the love of my life. Tarol told us that the army that he's building here will be used to destroy the Niven forever, and this is why I'm so loyal to him.
Destroy Niven? Where are the Niven people here?
Eric says, I'm not aware that there's any Niven aside from the 3 diplomats that are assigned to the island that reside in the tavern. I believe their names are Jakoto. There's a mage whom I forget the name of, and a soldier, a paladin soldier, who I also do not remember. I think his name is Gerald or something like that.
Gerald. Interesting. What is your girl's name?
She was called Rebecca.
Rebecca. Did we see her at the tavern? No, right?
None.
So, why isn't your poem so not sad? It's very romantic and more of a hopeful, but you don't seem sad at all.
I remember through my poems, I remember the good times that I had with her. But enough of this. I no longer want to speak of the past. I only want to speak of the future. Tell me your plans for this.
Well, I'll tell you what. Future is you will find new love equally as good as Rebecca.
Eric is silent and seems to be done speaking of this matter. As you wrap up your conversation with your comrade, that is the end of your turn.
Chicken, 'cause I need some more. I'm the dirty chicken lover that you know you adore. I've got the mashed potatoes and the gravy set. Just get those goddamn biscuits or you'll later regret.
I know you can't handle it. My lover KFC, you'll get a candle lit. I don't understand why you can't admit that it's mad legit. So let's call it quits. You like Ronald? Ew. Fuck that sad clown burger shit. Face looking like he's gonna murder kids. I'll stick with Sanders, he's the king of the biz. If you got a drumstick, you can wave it in the air. Don't listen to the haters, they got nothing but despair. If they spent more time just passing the bucket and less time hoping that their weight would plummet, they could live their lives in the spirit of fuck it until we watch as they can suck it. Believe me, bitches moaning when they got that chicken on them. Don't blame me, I don't condone it. I'm just spitting facts, not gloating. It's true, it's a classic scene. We out here living life happily. Pass me the chicken, cause I need some more. I'm the dirty chicken lover that you know you adore. I've got the mashed potatoes and the gravy set. Just get those goddamn biscuits or you'll later regret. We out here munchin', lying, bitch. Popeye's got nothing. Love my bread and don't eat stuffing. When doors open, I go running. I stare deep into her eyes as the cashier passes me a bucket of thighs. Pass me the chicken, cause I need some more. I'm the dirty chicken lover that you know you adore. I've got the mashed potatoes and the gravy set. Just get those goddamn biscuits or you'll later regret. This one's for you, Sanders. Why? Sanders. No.